ha ha! Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Matt Shad. This is another episode of the Zoot Report. How are y'all doing today? On this Friday Eve. Shout out to you know who says that. Yep, Friday Eve. Eve of Friday. But it's also, of course, Thursday. So Thordager. Thorvigi me Thorbless. For all you Norse enthusiasts out there. Thursday. This day is brought to you by Thor. Of course. So what are we going to talk about today? I don't know. Security? Security. Man, security is it's an interesting topic, I think. It's actually a very boring topic. It's one of the most boring as a job. It's probably one of the most boring jobs in the world. It really is. I mean, you're just standing around. And, you know, you've got your own ROEs depending on who you work for. You know, your ROEs, your rules of engagement could be, you know, stop, but I'll say stop again. I said stop. You made me say stop again. I got to make a phone call now. Hello, police. I told him stop 3 times. And they wouldn't stop. Or it could be armed security. You know, stop. Bang, 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 bang. I told you to stop. Right? Or you're just a deterrent. You know, you're just out there. You know, maybe you're a rover, walking a route, walking the perimeter, internal security, external perimeter security. Maybe you're a rover, right? It's a boring, thankless job. It really is. But it's necessary. It is. It's a vital and necessary job. It's one of those jobs where not much happens until something happens. Right? Just the fact of having security and everybody knowing that there's security stops a lot of shit. Right? It's a hell of a deterrent. You know, when they see somebody walking around with security, doing security, it negates a lot of things. They're like, yeah, they got security. Well, can't go there. Are they armed security or are they stop or I'll say stop again security? Oh, I don't know about that. Well, do they have guns? No. Okay, they're probably stop or I'll say stop again security. You know, working as a bouncer, your security consists of inside and outside, right? You know, and mostly you're worried about the inside. You're worried about the entry points. You don't want people, you know, gaining access that have not paid, right? Bad for business. You're worried about fights. You're worried about, you know, people that cause trouble. You know, and providing security, quote unquote, for you know, the employees. You know, your bartender, your manager, you know, outside security, parking lot detail, you know, not much is, security outside is like, whatever, we don't really care, police handle that shit, you know. Well, sometimes, right, working security, and it's a shift, and security during shift, think about that. You have to take as many people as you have and provide 24 hours a day, 7 days a week security. literally walking a route, standing guard, manning the rails, right? And divide that by how many people you have and by how many hours in the day, or 24 hours, right? So, and it rotates. So think about that. If you've got 2 people, guess what? You know, one's pulling guard duty while the other one is, you gonna let me in, motherfucker? While the other one is sleeping. Two people, one person. Oh well, you're fucked. So you see it, you know, 3 people, 4 people, on and off. Maybe you want to do, you got enough people, you might want to do like 4 hours on, you know, 4 hours at a time, you know. 4 hours is not bad. Standing guard 4 hours, especially at night. Now, at night, between the hours of 3 and 5 is when the human mind is the most tired, regardless of what circadian rhythms you're on. Really. So if you're already a night person, everybody knows between the hours of 3 and 5 is when you highly caffeinate yourself. You know, it's just the way it is. The body does that. The sun is on the other side of the planet, and oh shit, y'all got big wrecks going on here. That's not good. Damn, got all the cops out. Okay. Security during shift is it's constant. It's ongoing. It's a terrible job. I mean, it's a thankless, boring ass job until it's not. You know, but it's a vital necessity. And even if it's just you know, standing out there with a pair of binoculars or nods and a radio. You know, if you've got a large group, you know, in the Marine Corps we called it Fire Watch, right? And you had Sergeant of the Guard, you had Officer of the Guard, you had all this shit. You had people, you had rovers, you had your barracks guard, right? He's manning the barracks in the phones. He's filling out logbooks. He's dealing with everything there. Every hour he's got to walk the perimeter, walk the hallways, the ladder wells, the catwalks. You know, he's got to report and observe. There's 11 general orders, right? I'm not gonna go through those fucking orders. I don't remember them all. You know, but look it up. 11 general orders. You want a good guide for how to be, you know, security, fire watch? There you go. That's security is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Really, it is. I mean, all over the world, people work security. People need security. You know, governments need security. Corporations need security. Businesses need security. Private, you know, high-value people need security. It's, you know, doing principal security. You know, where you're guarding someone. Look at the Secret Service. Secret Service is security for the president and, you know, other people for the rest of their lives. And with that becomes a lot of training. So you're working a shift, you're standing guard, whatever. You know, you gotta know what you're doing, what to do when something happens. gotta stay in shape, right? And you gotta stay awake. It's a thankless job. It really is. I mean, no, it's a thankless job until something happens, and then everybody's like, "Wow, great job," or "Holy shit, we just got hit. It's all your fault. You let them in. Were you asleep?" Now, quote me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but falling asleep at fire watch used to be punishable by treason. In wartime, it was you got shot. Wartime treason, falling asleep on post, on duty, was like punishable by death, immediate death during wartime. I don't know. I doubt it's like that anymore. No one shoots their fire watch anymore. But that's the security that we know, right? The security that we all know and love, right? Posted up doing security, whatever the case may be, differentiating, responsibilities, things like that. You might have a list. You might have a list of things to do. While you're doing security, you might have to run over there and push the water filtration button to keep it running, or fill it up with gas because you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Skull. So you're running around making sure things are still running and still operating. That's security too, right? If you got some kind of compound going on, it's your duty while you're there. Or somebody else's. Maybe somebody else has got to wake up and do some more shit. So maybe you're providing security for them. You're providing security for your group, your corporation, your business, your family, friends, and loved ones, right? During shift, things like that. That's the security that we know, right? And like I said, it's a multi-billion-dollar operation. Depending on how far you want to get into it, you know what I'm saying? You could be passive security, just plain clothes with a gun and a radio, gun and a cell phone, right? Loss prevention, right? You're doing loss prevention in a business, catching folks. So security, surveillance, intel gathering, what you see, what you hear, what you smell. If maybe you got an LPOP, so if you're doing spicy camping, security is always constant, and you can go, it's 25%, 50%, 100%, right? 100%, that's the thing, if you're standing watch and something goes down, it's your job to sound the alarm, to wake up everybody. Hey, let's go. It's go time. We've got gooks in the wire. Let's go. Boom. We got sappers. Boom. We've got infiltrators. Let's go. Everybody, all hands on deck, stand to. Weapons outboard. Engage. Right, let's go. Security is security, right? You're going to need security to get water. You're going to need security. Anybody that goes outside the wire, right? And there's procedures, right, to get in, get out. There's passwords. There's all kinds of weird shit. You got to vet everybody that's coming in, going out, of your patrol base or whatever. Security is also, if you're going to conduct an ambush or a raid or something, and you've got your support element and your main element that's doing the raid, your dynamic, your action, right? Your primary element. They're the ones that are setting up the L shape, and then your secondary, your support element is either doing support by fire, or doing the ever popular flanking movement, and then you have security element. So it's like 3 elements, right? You got your assault element, your support element, and your security element. That security element is their job is to isolate the area and provide security. And maybe they're doing a blocking position for any reinforcements that are coming, against the group that got hit, to knock out any QRF, shit like that, and to provide security for you while you're setting up in the ambush or raid, and then as you're leaving and exiting, they're providing security as well. And building that kind of that corridor, that you can move in and out of without being hit. And if you do get hit, boom, you got security right there to handle, and you yourself can help out as well. Same thing with your convoys, right? A security could be a QRF, a quick response force, where they're just, and your security could be broken down, and perimeter, internal perimeter, and QRF, and there you go. You're something happens. These guys are just sitting in the barracks, sitting in a room somewhere, geared up, ready to go, watching playing video games, maybe sleeping, whatever, and then they just at a moment's notice, boom, let's go. Okay, and they're gone. That's it. It's instant. Instant. Go, go, go. Some AC here. I hope it's not too loud. I don't think it is. We've got us a nice little slow down here. Nice, right? Going 5 miles an hour into 70. Oh, fuck this place. Gotta love the summer. So yeah, security. You could do a passive security. Say you're just one man and you're setting up camp for the night, and you throw out some tripwires, right? You run some fishing line with some tin cans hanging from them, right? That's your security. So you have an early warning detection system. Maybe you put out some toe poppers. Maybe you put out some improvised munitions, booby traps and mines, things like that. The very popular shotgun warning device tripwire thing, that's pretty common, right? There's also really badass IR laser, setting up a laser array. Look at the southern border and what immigration does. The field agents and shit, they set out sensors all throughout. That place is whole blanketed throughout with sensors, an array of sensors that go off in different areas, and they there's also surveillance, cameras, video surveillance. So there's loitering drones and things like that provide surveillance and security. How much you want to get into it, is up to you. But somebody should always be manning all that shit. Palantir wants to. They've got this whole AI thing that does everything. Is an integrated surveillance and security apparatus. With drones and robots ready to deploy when AI says so. So give me that bumper. Go ahead. Come on. security is a very vital thing to have. Setting security, taking it seriously, not smoking and joking, and laughing, and being lackadaisical, not focused, letting shit go, right? Just, oh, I don't know, this guy can't. Oh yeah, I remember that guy came through earlier. I didn't say nothing. Well, what the fuck? Now he came back and he's trying to kill people or whatever. The high-tech section of it, security, like I said, you've got all these sensors and cameras and things like that. You've got security systems that tell you what door is being opened, what's being breached, what windows, kind of like your car alarm, but on a building or in a wooded area. You got security set up. Proximity alerts going off, shit like that. Just like your video games, right? So yeah, security. Gotta love it. Security, right? I mean, if you've got hostages, if you've got hostages. If you got people that you're trying to interrogate or whatever, you need to post security at least 2 for each person, just in case they try to overpower somebody, or whatever. During interrogations, there should be some kind of security there while you're interrogating, just in case dude breaks his fucking bonds and goes for your throat. Tries to stab you with a pen or rolled up newspaper, whatever. Takes a chair, dashes your brains out. Security is there to take care of it, right? I don't know what else to say about it. Think about the scheduling. If you got a group, think about the scheduling. If you're in a group, everybody is going to have to pull security, right? Everybody's going to have to okay, who is what is the chain of command? What is the point of contact? Who do I call? Do I wait? What's the procedures for waking everybody up? Whatever, right? Do you have a QRF? Do you have a large, area to provide security for? Do you have a small home? If you got a small home, you're going to have at least one person or two inside awake, maybe just one, maybe, and then at least 2 or 3 outside, providing security, LP and OP, listening and observation and listening post. Maybe you have that manned up, or you have it all. Everything is integrated with cameras and sensors and arrays, and you've got that one guy sitting in the operation room. He's watching videos, watching live feed cameras going. Oh, is that a possum? Yeah, that was a possum. But having somebody there outside that can respond as well, and one person ain't gonna do it, because one person, maybe one person's walking around and they're checking in. So you gotta do regular updates and check in. It's good to that's where your comms come in, right? Your comms plan. What are your comms plan for security? Because that's going to be vital. Rover 1 checking in with base 1, all clear. Base 1 to Rover 1. There's activity in Sector 2. Roger that. Rover 1 and Rover 2 responding. That's the other thing too, is security. If something goes down, security is, it's hard to, not everybody should be running, right? Not everybody should be running to the incident, the one breach, because that could be a diversion. And now you just took security off your rear. Rear security is now to the front security, and they're coming up your rear, literally. You know, so having that internal response force where everybody stand to, everybody knows what to do and covers all their sectors. And, you know, somebody's in charge to figure it out. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. They're coming in from the east and from the west, or from the east and the north. You know, like that whole classic L shape. So security, you know, you might have to beef up security. You might have to get out there and push forward, you know, get on line and protect the center, you know, and have flanks, have that security so that they can lock the shit down, lock areas down, prevent reinforcements from arriving, you know, after you've dealt with, you know, one group, your assault support security. Yeah, I remember this shit. It's fucking badass. I love it. Hey, can't park there. Truck in the middle of the damn road. Alright, whatever. A lot of things to consider, right? What do you do if you gotta take a bathroom break? Well, you need somebody to relieve you. Or be able to fucking shit right there. Or take a piss right there. I mean, but that's when you're vulnerable. Security has to be ever vigilant. It's hard. It is. It's hard. Just sitting there watching, you know, your little sector of fire, you know, and you're just like falling asleep. Oh God, can't look at your phone. You can't play video games. You know, oh God, I feel my tummy. It's rumbling. Shouldn't have had. It was Taco Tuesday. Damn, I gorged on the jalapeno fajitas. You either hold it or get somebody to relieve you. And yeah, that might be you have to wake somebody up. You know, you call back and go, hey, I gotta go. I got a number 2. I got a turtle head a popping, right? And you got to send word. You got to be able to communicate, right? You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to make sure and check in at you know, certain intervals to make sure that there's no breach in the line. Security is also the first line of defense. You know, if you're doing your radio check. And, you know, Rover 2 is not checking in. Rover 2, where are you? Rover 2. Oh, damn. They got Rover 2. Okay. So now you got to send somebody out, you know, assess the situation. Everybody stand to. Right? Wake up. We lost Rover 2. We don't know where he is. You send a 2-man team out there. It's a Rover 2 who's hanging out in Sector 2. And you find him sleeping, or you find him, you know, the battery is dead in his radio, and he didn't know it. It could be something stupid, or it could be you found him, boom, he's been sentry removed. They conducted a sentry removal action, right? Your sentries, security, same thing. I mean, what if Rover 3, you know, was just standing his guard, you know, doing his little area, and didn't come. The Rovers should be able to see each other from time to time, right? Kind of back and forth, back and forth. Imagine a big circle, right? right? And you got Pi Sector 1, that's Rover 1. Pi Sector 2, that's Rover 2 of the Pi, right? They go back and forth, in and out, back and forth, in and out of the circumference of the Pi, of their section. And from time to time, they'll see Rover 2, Rover 3, Rover 4, so on and so forth, right? Actually make eye contact, wave, say hi, hey, how you doing? You good to go? Here, you want a cigarette? Here, you need some coffee? I got you. Here's a piece of candy. You know, you see anything? No, didn't see anything. Oh, I seen a possum. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got raccoons coming over in Sector 3. Oh shit, really? Haha. So, having eyes on and having a way to communicate with them as well really integrates that security. You know, if you look at it like a pie, and they're going, you know, and every now and then they're coming in from the set, you know, to the center just to checking with internal security, checking in with your patrol base leader or whatever, whoever's on duty for internal security. Maybe they just have to, you know, look with binoculars and, you know, chime in on the radio. How you doing? Good to go, right? So lots of things to consider when doing security, when setting security. It can be extremely boring, but it's vital and necessary. It really is. You're protecting the main element, the main operation from everything, anything and everything. You can be on security and boom, you start seeing hail landing and tornadoes, and so now you got to report, hey, we got a freaking tornado coming through. Oh shit! You know, what does that look like, right? So you can set up your action plan and your crisis response. Remember that video? Yeah. Let's go. Fucking move. Get off your damn phone. Standing at a red light. Nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody's on the damn phone. Watching for weather, you're if you see something and you got to say something, you're giving your salute report. You know, what'd you see? Salute report: size, activity, location, unit, time, equipment. You know, oh really? Yeah, they didn't see me, or I don't think they see me. They were just walking by. Boom. You know, so yeah, maybe they're probing. I mean, you're the eyes and ears of everything, main element. You know, having security. It's vital and important. While you're stagnant, while you're sitting somewhere, or while you're running around doing raids and ambushes, you know, or whatever, you know, urban or rural, security is vital. And so having that element is absolutely necessary. If you don't have the manpower to do that, then guess what? Then you're everything. You're doing assault, support, and security. Right? There might be 3 people. Guess what? One's assault, one's support, one's security. You know, or you're all support, all assault, all security. Right? Just things to think about. You know, like I said, you know, your security while moving or while you know, stationary. You gotta take how many people you have, divide that by how many hours there are, and that's how many hours you're standing watch. Yeah, comms. I mean, your QRF, your crisis response. I mean, what if a rover gets out there and you know, boom, falls down and breaks his leg. Oh shit. You have your contingency plan set up. What do? What does everybody do? Right? So thank you very much for hanging out with me for the Zoot Report. Hope that you all have here on this lovely Friday Eve. It is currently a beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio. 71 degrees. Wow, sun is shining. Everything is dry-ish. Yeah. Thank you all. Have a good night. And Scully.